question I ask a lot of people on the show, right now in your life, on a scale of 1 to 10, call it the inner love, and the scale of inner peace and self-love. If you could give yourself a number from 1 to 10, 1 being you hate yourself and have 0 peace.
Okay.
10 being you have a lot of love for yourself in a healthy way and peace internally in a good way. You feel calm, you feel good, you feel like there's harmony, there's not chaos. That's a 10. Where are you currently in your life on a scale of 1 to 10?
It's a great question.
If you're being really honest.
Yeah. Where would you say you are right now?
I would say I'm a high 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done a lot of work over the last couple of years for myself to really feel peace, love, and calm.
Okay.
And so I used to be probably at a 6.5.
Okay.
Kind of up and down,
right.
Around there.
Right.
But right now I'm a high 8, low 9.
Okay. I think the number that initially first jumped in my mind was feeling like a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
there's definitely room to improve, but
I'm curious then, right before COVID hit, when you were in the dorm, training, playing with your mates, playing soccer, where were you on that scale, 1 to 10?
Honestly, if I recall correctly, I think I might have been at a 9.
That's interesting. So this happens a lot for a lot of people I bring on here.
Yeah.
Who had a moment where life takes off in a different way.
Yeah.
With success, fame, and money.
Mm-hmm.
And almost every person I asked this to, of all ages, were happier and had more peace about who they were before the success and the fame.
I knew where this was going, yeah.
Why do you think, with 50 million followers, a lot of money, every 20-year-old girl in the world interested in you, you have lower self-love and lower peace inside of you versus 3 years ago before your life took off in this direction? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think there were definitely factors when I was at that 9 where I just don't think we'll ever come back.
Like what?
I don't know. I was just at a great place in my life, I think. We had just finished our fall season and finished winter break. I got back from a good rest and, it was a nice little holiday, and then back to spring season. And I think something happened, over winter break, and I was just locked in, and I was so committed to what I had committed to, which was, soccer and being the best player I could be for the team, for myself. And I just don't know if I don't know. I really think that I was just in a good place mentally. I was I'm playing well. I'm, school's going well. Fortunately, I've never really, I was always a pretty good student. Both my parents are teachers, so that translates. And they made me be a good student. And I was just in a good place mentally. I think at that time, I had actually just gone out of a relationship as well. I had a girlfriend in college for about 7 months, I would say. From when I think we started dating, summer school. When I had first came
Left high school,
that summer, started at, and it was just the athletes at school. And we had hung out a lot, and she played basketball, and she was amazing. And we had a great time. And then, there was a hiccup. And then over winter break, we had just broken up. I went back to winter break, nice time at home. And then came back with just a chip on my shoulder, meaning I'm just going to be the best I can be. Training was going well. I don't know.
You were dialed in.
I was dialed in. I think I was the best player that I had been in my life. I think that was the best. And then a month later, COVID hits, and it's I can't really show how good I am right now with no games, with no actual in-life training, because we were doing Zoom trainings.
Right.
So then, yeah, I came from this super like high, and then when we got sent home for COVID, it was like, I don't know how long this is going to be, but I'm going to stay dialed in. Like, that's not the motivation, the discipline's not going anywhere. But I don't know. And then TikTok kind of took off for me, and I was like, well, I'm the most confident I've ever been as a player right now. But I'm also, on the other hand, getting thrown financial opportunities and exposure opportunities, and people in LA reaching out, being like, come out to LA, like collab, like this, that. And I was like, what does that even mean? You know, like, what does that mean? And I had no clue. Like, this is such a new thing to me. I didn't really grow up watching, like, I was never really in tune with social media. And that was one of the things that I was so dialed in about. Yeah. And I think that's why I was at so much peace with myself too at that 9, was because I never was scrolling. Like, I didn't have anything to scroll about, you know?
were focused as an athlete.
I was focused as an athlete.
Train after school, come back, hang with the family.
I kind of just toned out the rest of the world, and like in a way where I didn't know what else was out there. Like, I would follow like sport accounts and being like, oh, this transfer's cool, you know, or like, you know,
ESPN or something.
Yeah, like I had no one else to keep up with. And now I'm at a point in my life where I have friends, fortunately, like I have friends all over the world and that I've met through social media, and there's just so much more to keep up with now. And if I don't, I feel like I'm out of the loop.
Wow.
And so now it's like, as much as soccer and training for that and being the best player I can be there was physically and mentally draining, this is just a different kind of life that gets sucked out of you when you're just constantly thinking about, I don't know, how 50 million people would perceive you if you post this. Like, and I can't post a single thing without me thinking that. And it's like, it's just, I feel like after everything I just said, I feel like it's kind of easy to depict where that 9 kind of was. It was just, there wasn't many distractions. There wasn't as many outside voices, you know, whereas now it's all there is. And there's constantly like this, it's not much of a pressure, because I'm like, I'm good under pressure. You know, I like pressure as an athlete. I like pressure, but it's just that feeling of I'm not doing the best I can right now. You know, I'm not as dialed in to my content, to everything that I'm working on right now as I was when I was at 9 playing soccer, because I'm not as passionate about it. And
Interesting.
It's like,
in a world of possibilities, what would it take for you to get back to a 9 at this level as you continue to grow? Let's say your audience doubles. Let's say you get 10 times as much money and opportunities coming your way and distractions.
Yeah.
What will you do to support yourself to stay, maybe not a 9, but a high level of peace and self-love?
Yeah, I think recently I've really been working on that. And I think it's an interesting way to think of it now. I'm definitely going to like see myself in a week and be like, where am I at number wise? Like,
I'm going to follow up with you.
This is
check
a new
it on
thing.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to check it on you.
This is a new way to kind of like determine where I'm at mentally. And I like it. But I think, I don't know, definitely with intent, I've been working a lot on like my mental health.
That's good.
And, you know, making sure that I'm just trying to be the best person I can be, and not for anyone else, to be honest, just for myself, and just being the best version of myself. I think that's so important. And I think life's too short to like not work at your flaws, not try to be the best you can be. And I think there have been times where I've had people in my life, and it sucks and it hurts that like I've had people in my life almost veer me away from that and being like,
really,
relax, let loose, like, you know, take a drink, have fun, you know, like that kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, but I know that wouldn't make me happy. I know what makes me happy. Kind of. That's still a never-ending search. But
sure.
I think for the most part, like I know when I'm at my happiest. I know like what, I don't know. I just think that there have definitely been influences in my life recently that have kind of tried to veer me away from doing what's best for me.
Really?
And I think that could be out of reflection of how they're feeling, out of being like, maybe feeling bad for themselves and being like, well, I don't have that in me right now, so I'm going to try to bring him down with me.
Interesting.
And being like, And I don't know, like again, constantly split between two minds of being like, you know what, I do need to kind of let loose. But then as the moment I let loose is when like things seem to start crumbling, and I'm like, I really like a routine.
I mean, I can say that having structure and self-discipline and a routine and putting myself through delayed gratification while also enjoying life daily brings me a lot of peace and joy.
Yeah.
And as an athlete, I don't know where you're at with this, but I've never been drunk in my life.
Yeah.
I've never been high, never been drunk. I don't do ayahuasca. I don't do mushrooms.
Amazing. Wow.
I don't dabble or try it and let loose, because I know that if I went down that path, it would make me unhappy.
Right.
A moment of joy or an hour of joy or like a unique feeling wouldn't give me joy the next day or the next few days.
Wow.
So it doesn't mean, sugar's my vice. So it's like the cookies and the ice cream is like, that's my
sweet
drug.
Tooth, of course.
But when I am disciplined, when I train early in the morning, when I get good sleep, when I do something hard that day, when I connect with people I love, I feel good about me.
Yeah.
I feel peaceful.
Yeah.
It's when I'm distracted on all these different options. It may feel like a sense of fun in the moment, but the next few days, I'm like, what did I just do that for?
Yeah.
I don't feel good. It's a little foggy in the brain. My body doesn't feel good. And then you need more of it.
Wow.
So I've just never gone down that path.
Yeah.
Because I know nothing good comes if you do it for a long time. If
right.
you want to test it here and there, cool. But it's just, I've seen the darkest of stuff.
Yeah.
With alcohol, with drugs, and it never ends well.
Yeah.
So anyways, my thoughts there. But speaking of darkness, every time I see one of your photos or a video or a post of yours, you're pretty much smiling.
Yeah.
You're this whole time you're smiling.
Yeah.
You seem like a very happy guy. This is obviously the first time we've connected really in person in a meaningful way, but you seem to be a very happy kid. You seem to be youngest of three. You had good parents, two older sisters who really supported you, and probably like my older sisters told you how to treat women,
of course,
told you how to be respectful, like they did with me.
Yeah.
But is there ever any moments where you are sad?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, I don't know. I think growing up in a female dominated household, it taught me a lot about women, and, they gave me a lot of lessons about how to treat, and I've had a lot of people in my life tell me how evident it is that I've had that sibling, like that sister upbringing. And I take that as a compliment. And I love that I'm able, I love that I have that respect, and that I know that my mom has given me everything, and my dad has as well, don't get me wrong. But I think I have a certain appreciation for what women do. And, but yeah, going back to it, I think, of course I get sad.
You do?
Of course. And I think
you're always, it seems like you're always happy.
Yeah.
You got everything going for you. How could Noah Beck be sad?
I think that's, it's weird with TikTok and with anything social media, anything on my phone. The moment I start to, I bet it's listening right now. It's crazy because it takes you down this rabbit hole of like, I'll mention to like a friend and be like, hey, like I'm not feeling my best today. Like I'm sad about this, that. Then all of a sudden, like I'll go on my For You page later, and it's about like, it's like sad core TikTok, and it's like making me even sadder. It's like,
oh man.
Yeah, it really sucks because I'm like, I don't want to see this right now. I want to see like funny videos or like something but at the end of the day, like, I read or I'll see often, the people that are the happiest, like check in on them, because it may be a blanket or it may be something. And I don't know. I don't think I've definitely get sad. But I think it's one of those things where I try, and I had a therapist once tell me this, and I think it really helped me. I try to like, not enjoy, obviously that's the wrong word for it, but I try to appreciate the times where I feel sad, because that's what makes you human. And I'm glad that I have those feelings, because if I wasn't, then I will be a robot. But I know people that are pretty numb to, like, I know people that, I don't know, I like how in touch I am with my emotion, and I am not afraid to tell people if I get sad. I'm not like afraid to reach out, but there are definitely times where I have been, and I'm getting better with it. But I think there have been times where I've kind of, you know, like, it's the classic, like, I'm fine, you know, and it's like, that's when I want someone to
But you're really not.
Yeah, like, that's when I want someone to be like, just be there with me, you know, like, I know, because I've had friends that, you know, needed the same, and I always want to think that, I've tried to think that I'm a very compassionate person, and I try to be empathetic.
You got a compassionate heart, I can feel it.
Thank you. And I try, and that's something I work out a lot, and I don't ever want to let that go. But I've had times where, like, I can see, like, close friends, you know, something's off, and then I just would want to give them what I would want in that moment. And everyone's different, so it's like they may react to it differently, but I know at the end of the day, like, it's easier, or it would be better if I was there for them than if I was not, despite whether they want it or not. And I don't know, but what I get sad about, it's so many things. But I think recently, what we were talking about a bit about off camera, and what I have no problem talking about is, you know, we're all human, you know, we all have relationships with other humans, interactions, and yeah, I think that was one of the things that I've probably been most sad about lately.
Really?
Yeah, and I think,
well, to give context to this, you know, when I first heard about you, you were blowing up on social media, and then I started seeing you in a relationship on social media. And this is something that I think there's some pros and cons to being in a relationship publicly.
Of course.
Especially in the social media world.
Yeah.
What has been the best part about being in a relationship publicly on social media with someone who's also growing in their own inspiring ways?
Yeah.
And what has been the most challenging part about that experience in a relationship on social media?
Yeah, I think the best part was that we were there for each other, and that we understood how one another were feeling when something, like, it wasn't a completely new world. I didn't have to explain to my partner, you know, this is how I'm feeling, and them being like, well, I don't understand because I can't even imagine, you know. And it was kind of just like an unsaid thing that we both just kind of understood, like, hey, if something were to happen and they were getting hate online, whether, you know, even though it blows off in a day or two, like, there would just be times where I'm like, look, I know I'm here telling you not to look at it. I can't be naive and be like, you know, I understand. Like, I'm like, I get it. Like, seeing it, despite whether it gets to you or not, I can only imagine, like, because when it happens to me, like, whether it's like a controversy, like, I don't know, I haven't been in anything like crazy, thank God, and knock on wood, because
just like I said, comments here and there.
Yeah, like I said, it's one of those things where I just am myself. So if I ever, I don't know, like, I have nothing really to hide. So thankfully, but there were times when just something would happen, and, you know, she would get comments that were not very nice, and I'm just like, you know, it's not like a totally oblivious thing where if I was dating someone else that wasn't in the industry, they would be like, just don't look at it, you're fine, you know. And it's like, I get it. And I think that was one of the best parts of the relationship, was knowing that we were in it together, and we both just understood. We both had this, like, unspoken, like, yeah, like, we just kind of just got each other in a sense. And the
biggest challenge about being in a public
issue, I think the biggest challenge was,
especially as a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, and really your first deeply intimate, you know, kind of relationship is what it sounds like.
Yeah, I think that right there was probably the hardest part, was it kind of us just figuring this out together. And despite, I don't know, she had moved out to LA a few months before I did. And when I came out to LA, like, we kind of hit it off very quickly. We started off as, like, really good friends, and I was just like, I just really like being around this girl. And then, you know, one thing led to another, and we're dating, and then the word gets out, and So now we're in a public relationship at 19, and it's like,
Whew, she was 19 as well at the same time?
Yeah.
Same age?
yeah, same age. And I think the biggest challenge was just like everyone having a say. Everyone, like, you could have 0 followers and your comment could blow up. And typically with how social media is and just how everything is, it's like typically the things that go the most viral or to get the most attention are negative things. You know, it's never like, I love them so much together. Like, and people are going to see that and whatever. Like, you know, it's like, or on the latter, it's like, I hate them together, here's why. And it's like, that'll get more views. I don't know. It's just everyone having a say, despite who you are, where you're from, what you know about us. Like, I think everyone has a voice. Everyone's in the relationship at that point.
Wow.
And that was very tricky because we were figuring this world out, and
you're figuring life out.
Right,
You're
we're human.
social
We're
media out.
19 years old. Like, we're human, and like no one ever has it figured out. But at 19, you really don't have it figured out. And like, despite like, I think I'm very grateful for everything that I have to this day. But like, I'm still figuring it out. I still don't know what I want to do. I'm still like, it is not all sunshines and rainbows. And I think that's just part of being human. All right, if I'm gonna do this, I got a new job. You know, it's like having a new coach. Like, you want to impress the new coach. And so every time I would do something new in the entertainment industry and in this space, I was like, I'm gonna give it the best I can, and I'm gonna try to really throw myself in. And like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah,
you know, you fail.